Right guys, welcome. And this is my new to me bike, a Royal Enfield Himalayan 411. How I got here is a bit of a long and convoluted story. So let's talk about it, because I initially didn't even want one. So we need to wind back the clock a little bit to establish a little bit of context as to why I ended up with this. For the longest time I wanted a Harley, and I still do. That's not really relevant today. The Harley, that's an endeavor for when I'm an older man. But for now I need a bike that fulfills the things that I want to do with it. And I've had a really long, hard think about it. I've had my license for a while now, and I've been riding 125s on and off for like 10 years. So I've had more than enough time to think about it. And I think it's really important that you buy the bike for the kind of riding that you actually do, not the riding that you think you're going to do in your head. And as time's gone on, it's become abundantly clear that the kind of riding that I like doing is traveling and off-road. That's the kind of stuff that I enjoy. That's becoming my kind of bread and butter. It's what I want to do. I like green laning, I like exploring. That's the kind of riding that I like. So in my head years ago, I always said that my dream garage would be a Harley and like an Africa Twin. And I've had time to ponder those ideas for a long time. And I came to the realization recently that the Harley should be something that I do when I'm a bit older, not something that I do now, because it's not the right bike for the job. And I was like, oh, an Africa Twin would be great, wouldn't it? But, you know, the more I thought about it, the more I saw massive issues with that. One, they're expensive, very expensive. I don't like owning super expensive things. You know, it's cool in theory to me to have like expensive vehicles and stuff, but the reality of it is that you're just precious about it, and well, I am, and it stops you using it for its full potential. And two, the facade of all these massive adventure bikes eventually came crashing down when I realized that, like, you know, 250, 260 kilo bikes, that's not a bike for a beginner green laner to be riding. It's idiotic, and they're really valuable, and I think it would have just ruined off-roading for me. And I'm really glad that I didn't buy one. It would have been a bad idea. So I came to the conclusion very recently that what I wanted was a small capacity travel trail / adventure bike. It's the market that's kind of booming at the moment. You know, you've got your Himalayan 411s, 450s, KTM 390 Adventures, the list goes on, the CF Moto. You know, there's a lot of bikes to choose from. And there's a multitude of very logical reasons as to why I ended up with a Himalayan, because if you asked me a year ago, it wouldn't have been my first choice. What my first choice would have been the CF Moto 450 MT, which I have test ridden and I enjoyed very much. Why didn't I get a CF Moto 450 MT? Well, there's a few reasons. One, they're too expensive. You know, for me, if I go and spend 5 or 6 grand on a bike, I'm not gonna then go sending it down green lanes with reckless abandon and worried about dropping it. You know, I'm gonna be precious about it again. And is that a good off-road bike? Something that you're precious about? I don't think so. So that kind of ruled the CF Moto out. It's too new and too expensive. And then I was thinking, well, maybe, because really what I wanted was an off-road bike with a twin engine, which really whittles the list down, because you can't really get many. And the reason I wanted a twin is simply because I've been riding 125s for 10 years. They've all been singles. I want something with a bit of pizzazz and, you know, something that sounds cool. So now I thought, oh, excuse me, I'll get a Versys 300. That's got a twin. But it's not really an off-road bike. So that eventually ruled that out. So I then pondered it even more, thinking, you know, what do I want to do? I want to adventure, I want to go off-road, and I want something that is robust and simple. It's kind of where the Himalayan comes into it. So in many ways, on paper, this is not a very good bike at all. And as I've gotten older, I'm very much anti-spec sheet analysis, because I don't really think it tells you the story of a bike. And motorbikes are an emotional decision. They're not necessarily like a clinical kind of decision. They're not totally logical. So I've heard many interesting things about this bike and the people that have ridden them a lot. And they seem to be quite the companion for people for that kind of riding. So what do I like about this bike? It's simple, it's cheap, it's got a low center of gravity, so it's good off-road. It's got the proper wheel setup for off-road, you know, 17, 21. It's got a lot of the things out of the box, make it kind of ready to go. It's got the crash bars, which can be used as racks on the front. It's got the rack on the back. It's got the center stand. It's a very utilitarian, very practical bike. And realistically, for the kind of riding that I want to do, it's got to be practical. And I try to be a practical man. And the basicness of this means that I would never have to worry about taking it to a dealer. So it's got no TFT screens, you know, it's very simple. It's got fuel injection and ABS. That's kind of the only modern components it's really got. But other than that, it's a very simple machine that I'm going to be able to keep going for a long time. Also, I wanted something in good condition and fairly new. And I could have got an older dual sport or something. That was, you know, very tempting. But I do not, absolutely not want a project. I want something that works and is reliable. And one way to achieve that is to get a tested platform where the niggles have been figured out, and also something that's fairly new. So this bike in particular is a 2022 Euro 5, which makes it the last of the Himalayan 411s. I didn't want to concede on the color. I wanted the black on black. Yeah, and it's, for all intents and purposes, it is absolutely mint, and I'm very, very pleased with it. This bike has 4,000 miles on it. I bought it for £2,350. And to me, that's insane, because this thing is basically new. You know, it looks new. There's no real wear on it. It's been serviced. It is ready to go, and hopefully I won't have to worry about it at all. It's had a few of the common things sorted out. It's had the relays changed. It's also got a fork insert kit and a rear shock on it, so suspension has already been done. And to me, that is just a bargain that you absolutely cannot argue with. I mean, what can you get that's, you know, 3 years old for like £2,000? There's no bikes really that you can get for that are going to fulfill this kind of duty. So although I initially didn't want one, I am very excited to have this, and I have already had it down a green lane in its stock form. And I was honestly very impressed. I've had it on some back roads as well. I have ridden it, and it's actually better than I thought it would be. It's a bit quicker than I thought it would be. Well, not quicker, but you have to watch my first ride video, which will be the video after this. But the way the power is delivered in this isn't as underwhelming as I thought, and it feels quite lightweight off-road. You know, my point of comparison is that I've been off-roading on a Grom. This, you know, it feels fantastic off-road. So far, I am really quite happy, and I think it's going to be a machine that I become very fond of, because that's what I thought when I picked. I thought, okay, maybe it doesn't have the initial pizzazz that's going to get me super excited, but what it does have is a level of usability that means that I'm going to grow very fond of it, and I will probably bond with the machine quite a lot because I'm going to be doing all my own work to it and stuff. So yeah, that's it. This is my lightweight adventure bike of choice, the Royal Enfield Himalayan, and I'm very excited. I'll give you guys a quick walk around of it, because I am very pleased with it. So it is wet because I have just cleaned it, but it is positively mint, this bike. It's like brand new. I am so excited. I think I'm going to make some absolutely fantastic memories with it. Good to get a little bit of a walk around on it while it's mint. It's still on the standard tires. Look at these spokes, not a hint of corrosion or anything on it. I bought it from a gentleman called George in Devon, and he was a really, really nice dude. If you're watching this, George, thank you very much. I really appreciate your hospitality and sorting me out with this lovely bike. I do promise to look after it and make lots of memories with it. So yeah, that is my new to me Royal Enfield Himalayan. I am very excited to be its new owner and to make some new memories with it. I've got loads of parts ready to go on it to get it ready for what is probably going to be 50-50 riding most of the time. I mean, I want to get on green lanes with it, and I want to do some fun journeys as well, some fun exploration missions, some adventure rides. So in order to achieve that, I'm going to do a few mods to it. If you want to see what those mods are, stay tuned for the next video. I've got a plethora of bits to go on it. Do I still have the Grom? Yes, I do. The Grom's not going anywhere for now, so if you want to see Grom stuff, that will still be here. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you had a lovely Christmas. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.